Hello. Today is Wednesday, December 13th, 2023, and this is a sideshow. I'm Theodore Parker. In this area, Kentucky, specifically Lexington, the temperature is around 30 degrees, 25 overnight, and going up to 47 degrees today. A few passing clouds, winds west by southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunrise 7:45 a.m. Sunset at 5:18 p.m. New moon today. So if you're watching the sideshow on Facebook and Instagram, like, comment, and share. Talk about it on WhatsApp. Before I get into that, I know with my introduction, I come on and say this is a sideshow with Theodore Parker. But just as a piece of information to pass on, if you're actually looking for it on Facebook, it's listed as Theodore Parker's the sideshow. Theodore Parker's the sideshow. So that kind of leads you to the website, for lack of a better term, with all the information pertinent to the show that you might be interested in accessing. So just passing that on. As I say, talk about it on WhatsApp. And that kind of relates to when I first picked the name, just a short story to go with it. Comedy Central has the Daily Show with Trevor Noah, and a little while back he said he was going to take some time, and he did away from the show. He did some stand-up comedy shows, said he was going to go to South Africa and visit with his mom, etc., etc. So while he was away, then he had other people come in and host the show. So it was kind of a futuristic concept to say with Theodore Parker, but as it is actually listed, it's Theodore Parker's the sideshow. So if you're watching the sideshow on YouTube, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And don't forget the sideshow coffee cup. 11-ounce black ceramic, dishwasher safe, good for all beverages, hot and cold, with the sideshow logo on it. Buy from me for $17 plus shipping and handling. Pay me through Cash App, $TR Parker 1, all caps. So today, I know I left you with to coin an expression, a mouthful on Monday, nutrition, diet, and exercise, which you're probably still chewing on, so to speak. Today we're going to delve into business in the tech world. So this is as impressive as the honor that's been bestowed on Taylor Swift being named Time Magazine Person of the Year. Amidst her new romance and dating, Travis Kelce. And to quote Taylor in part, she said, "Showing up to watch you do what you love." Taylor Swift, Person of the Year, Time Magazine. Excuse me. And as surprising as I'd mentioned to you a week or so ago about Creole's live music venue, but I didn't give you the follow-up. So here we go. So the event was scheduled R&B night from 7 to 11. It was on a Saturday. And I arrived just about 8 o'clock, I would say. And the place was not crowded, but people were present. And, I walked in and immediately I noticed two giant bean bags in the middle of the floor. And on the two bean bags were two children, two kids, one on each bean bag. And I said to myself, well, I've never seen this before. And adults are kind of circulating, just, not full, but people are present and stuff like that. So, I have a seat. And I noticed this woman go past me. And, she's talking to a few people and whatnot and this and that. So kind of get into the night, she takes the microphone. And the minute she starts talking, then I turn and look. I say, that's Cardi B. Sure enough, she's there with her two children. And the night consisted of, trivia games, prizes, things of that nature. And just having her present and, just kind of set the atmosphere. They had a drink selection, which was either or, just two drinks at half price plus the food menu. And the atmosphere after people started coming in and got, suitably filled up was warm. If you're familiar with the expression, it was warm. So, she's hosting, she's on the mic, she's taking us through the games and all this other kind of stuff. People are suitably excited. Conversations are going back and forth and so forth and so on. And she's talking to different people and all of this. So then after a little bit, this man comes in and he walks past me and I take a look at him. But my eyes go to his neck piece, his necklace, right? It's a single strand, but it's so bright. The first thing I say is, that can't be anything but platinum. And as soon as it registers me that the necklace is platinum, then I say Offset. So sure enough, Offset, Cardi B, and the two kids were there at Creole's for R&B night a couple of Saturdays ago. And it was a nice evening, So it was a pleasant surprise, as I say. So this part of the segment, Business in the Tech World, will probably be just as different as those two things occurring. Number one, all of us at this point in time are depending on tech. And whether we want to say so or not, as I said when my children were young, you're dragging me kicking and screaming into the world of technology. And just to kind of verify that point, if you can see it, this is the first cell phone that I ever bought. And really, it's no explanation for it. They just wanted to be able to call me or I called them or whatever. And this is it. I can barely read the name on the bottom of it. Little clip on the back and so forth and so on. You can see the size of it. Okay. Now this is the Apple phone that I bought. Okay. As you can see, the logo on it. Apple. I think this is the first time I didn't buy a black phone. I think this is like a mauve or off pink or something like that in a otter box. I think this was the Apple iPhone 6. Okay. And this is the phone that I have now. The Samsung A23. So, whether you like it or not, whether you think you're going to spend the money or not, this is the world that we are in. And phones are like no longer a luxury, they're almost a necessity. So that's just kind of like my personal journey on it. So, two things have happened. Google has been taken to court because there are laws in this country about antitrust, monopolies, and things of this nature. But it's kind of funny because Google's being taken to court for the Google Play Store, or has been, and it's been a 3 or 4 year court battle going on. But they also have iPhone, and Google Play Store supplies apps for Android or smartphone. But both of them come under the umbrella. That's my device is going off. The umbrella that covers them both is Alphabet Inc. So, the first story, and it's just going to take a couple of minutes, to cover it, is from CNN Business. And it's called Federal Jury Says Google's App Store Violated Antitrust Law. And this is from Monday. So it starts out in a momentous decision that could chip away at Google's firm control of its Android App Store. A federal jury said Monday evening that Google's app marketplace is an illegal monopoly. The verdict in a years-long battle between Epic Games, maker of the hit video game Fortnite, and the technology giant marks a significant victory for critics of Google's App Store terms and practices. The jury found Google's App Store practices violate U.S. antitrust law, and the search giant has illegally operated a monopoly in the manner to which it distributes Android apps and charges for them. Epic and Google has sparred for weeks in a closely watched federal trial over everything from the fees Google charges for in-app purchases to Google's contract terms that restrict competing app stores from Android devices. The jury decision could represent a crack in the armor of App Store operators who for years have successfully defended their platforms from monopoly allegations by consumers, app makers, and other critics of large technology companies. Victory over Google, said Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney in a post on X. After 4 weeks of detailed court testimony, the California jury found against the Google Play monopoly on all counts. In Google's response, in a statement, Google said it would challenge the landmark verdict that could lead to sweeping changes to the company's App Store business. Android and Google Play provide more choice and openness than any other major mobile platform, said Wilson White, Vice President of Government Affairs and Public Policy at Google. The trial made clear that we compete fiercely with Apple and its App Store, as well as app stores on Android devices and gaming consoles. We will continue to defend the Android business model and remain deeply committed to our users, partners, and the broader Android ecosystem. With Monday's verdict, a separate process in the case is expected to begin in the new year regarding possible remedies targeting Google's App Store, and could seek to change how Google collects its fees from developers or make it easier for Android devices to host third-party app stores. For now, the outcome of the high-profile court battle stands in contrast to a similar case Epic has pursued against Apple over its App Store. After being largely defeated on its most central allegations in the lower courts, Epic has appealed its case against Apple to the U.S. Supreme Court. A long simmering fight. Epic's challenge to App Store operators followed years of criticism by app developers that Apple and Google impose unduly restrictive terms and exorbitant fees for the ability to appear on their app stores. Epic had acknowledged in both cases that it launched a deliberate campaign known as Project Liberty to violate the company's developer terms, specifically to force a legal showdown by recommending in 2020 that Fortnite players purchase in-game currency from Epic's website instead of through iOS or Android apps. That encouragement led Apple and Google to remove Fortnite from their respective app stores, citing violation of App Store policies, and triggered the legal battles. Apple and Google have both maintained that their App Store practices help ensure that software available through their platform is safe and secure. In addition, Google has argued that the Android operating system, which it develops and licenses, allows users to download apps from any third-party source if they choose, whereas Apple restricts app installations to only those apps available from its proprietary app store. Google has also accused Epic of trying to benefit from the visibility, and this is the part I kind of like because I can relate to it. Google has also accused Epic of trying to benefit from the visibility and reach that the Google Play Store provides without contributing to the platform's upkeep. U.S. lawmakers have proposed legislation to address some of the criticism raised by app developers, but failed to advance amid a torrent of criticism by Apple and Google. On Monday, consumer advocates argued the jury verdict was a major victory against one of Google's most profitable monopolies. This is a message that justice can prevail in the fight against big tech's outsized power over our lives, said Catherine Van Dyck, senior legal counsel at the American Economic Liberties Project, a consumer group advocating for aggressive antitrust enforcement. Monday's verdict may be part of a much broader shift in the internet economy, said Anil Dash, a longtime technology entrepreneur and commentator. The app stores are cracking open. Walls between social media platforms are coming down. As the old networks fail, the headlong rush to AI is making all the search engines worse, and the open web is more powerful than ever, Dash wrote in a post on Threads. We are about to see the biggest reshuffle of power on the internet in 20 years. Most users have never seen this kind of change. So, the battle's in there, the court's going on. Google talked about as monopoly antitrust laws have been invoked. And there we have one verdict. Google and Epic at each other. So that's just a small example of the awareness of consumers. And you have to agree, Google Play Store offers a lot. But when you think about them both, Google and Apple, or iPhones being, which iPhone only uses iPhone software, accessories, etc., etc. And if I can remember, when I was buying iPhones, each iPhone had its own situation. You know, it wasn't like there was a universal thing that you could use for this and for that. And I think in the Android smartphone market, Samsung is kind of like got their selves together to have their own accessories, which is true. You can't put a charger from an Apple phone into a Samsung phone and vice versa. So each manufacturer has their own accessory catalog. So there was another person that stepped up and kind of covered this. And the reason why I'm looking at the second one, it's the same thing, 2 or 3 minutes read, is because it's just more information, but from a different perspective. Now this one, the first one, that came from a reporter that worked for CNN. And this one is dated the 11th, again on Monday. It's coming from a reporter that worked for CBS News. And it's entitled, Epic Games Wins Antitrust Lawsuit Against Google Over Barriers to Its Android App Store. The unanimous verdict came after just 3 hours of deliberation following a week-long trial revolving around a lucrative payment system within Google's Play Store. A federal court jury has decided that Google's Android App Store has been protected by anti-competitive barriers that have damaged smartphone consumers and software developers, dealing a blow to a major pillar of a technology empire. The unanimous verdict reached Monday came after just 3 hours of deliberation following a 4-week trial revolving around a lucrative payment system within Google's Play Store. The store is the main place where hundreds of millions of people around the world download and install apps that work on smartphones powered by Google's Android software. Epic Games, the maker of the popular Fortnite video game, filed a lawsuit against Google 3 years ago, alleging that the internet search giant has been abusing its power to shield its Play Store from competition in order to protect a gold mine that makes billions of dollars annually. Just as Apple does its iPhone App Store, Google collects a commission ranging from 15% to 30% on digital transactions completed within apps. Apple prevailed in a similar case that Epic brought against the iPhone App Store, but that 2021 trial was decided by a federal judge in a ruling that is under appeal at the U.S. Supreme Court. The 9-person jury in the Play Store case apparently saw things through a different lens. Even though Google technically allows Android apps to be downloaded from different stores, an option that Apple prohibits on the iPhone. Just before the Play Store trial started, Google sought to avoid having a jury determine that outcome, only to have its request rejected by U.S. District Judge James Donato. Now it will be up to Donato to determine what steps Google will have to take to unwind its illegal behavior in the Play Store. The judge indicated he would hold hearings on the issue during the second week of January. Epic CEO Tim Sweeney broke into a wide grin after the verdict was read and slapped his lawyers on the back, and also shook the hand of a Google attorney whom he thanked for his professional attitude during the proceedings. Victory over Google, Sweeney wrote in a post on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter. In a company post, Epic hailed the verdict as a win for all app developers and consumers around the world. Google plans to appeal the verdict, according to a statement from Wilson White, the company's vice president of government affairs and public policy. Android and Google Play provide more choice and openness than any other major mobile platform, White said. Depending on how the judge enforces the jury's verdict, Google could lose billions of dollars in the annual profit generated from its Play Store commissions. The company's main source of revenue, digital advertising tied mostly to its search engine, Gmail, and other services, won't be directly affected by the trial's outcome. The jury reached this decision after listening to 2 hours of closing arguments from the lawyers on the opposing sides of the case. Epic lawyer Gary Bornstein depicted Google as a ruthless bully that deploys a bribe and block strategy to discourage competition against its Play Store for Android apps. Google lawyer Jonathan Krabis attacked Epic as a self-interested game maker trying to use the courts to save itself money while undermining an ecosystem that has spawned billions of Android smartphones to compete against Apple and its iPhone. Much of the lawyers' dueling arguments touch upon the testimony from a litany of witnesses who came to court during the trial. The key witness included Google CEO Sundar Pichai, who sometimes seemed like a professor explaining complex topics while standing behind a lectern because of a health issue, and Sweeney, who painted himself as a video game lover on a mission to take down a greedy tech titan. In his closing argument for Epic, Bornstein railed against Google for exploiting its power over the Android software in a way that has led to higher prices for developers and consumers, as well as less innovation and quality. Google has staunchly defended commissions as a way to help recoup the more than $40 billion that it has poured into building into the Android software that has been giving away since 2007 to manufacturers to compete against iPhone. Android phones cannot compete against the iPhone without a great app store on them, Kravis asserted in his closing argument. The competition between the app stores is tied to the competition between the phones. But Bornstein ridiculed the notion of Google and Android competing against Apple and its incompatible iPhone software system. Apple is not the great get-out-of-jail-for-free card that Google wants it to be, Bornstein told the jury. Google also pointed to rival Android app stores, such as the one that Samsung installs on its popular smartphones, as evidence of a free market. Combined with the rival app stores pre-installed on devices made by other companies, more than 60% of Android phones offer alternative outlets for Android apps. Epic, though, presented evidence asserting the notion that Google welcomes competition as a pretense, citing the hundreds of billions of dollars it has doled out to companies such as game maker Activision Blizzard to discourage them from opening rival app stores. Besides making these payments, Bornstein also urged the jury to consider the Google scare screens that pop up warning consumers of potential security threats when they try to download Android apps from some of the other alternatives to the Play Store. These are classic anti-competitive strategies used by dominant firms to protect their monopolies. Google's empire could be further undermined by another major antitrust trial in Washington that will be decided by a federal judge after hearing final arguments in May. That trial has cast a spotlight on Google's cozy relationship with Apple in online search, the technology that turned Google into a household word a few years after and here's the ringing of the bell, a few years after two former Stanford University graduates started the company in a Silicon Valley garage in 1998. So there you have it, a bunch of facts you can sift through. Most of them you are familiar with by daily use. So I just wanted to pass that on. To me, that's a pretty big thing. Like I say, we're in the world of technology. AI is here. Like it or not, we're already making use of it. Mark Zuckerberg just did a demo video on Instagram regarding Ray-Ban glasses that you can look at an object and ask, what is this? And in his demonstration for these Ray-Ban AI glasses, he was looking at like a rainbow colored shirt, and to ask the glasses, what goes with this? Glasses' response was dark colored trousers or a solid color. So although there's still some kinks to be worked out, we're in it. We're in it. Business and technology and today's consumer. So just so we can kind of up the terms, up the tempo, bring a little smile to your face. Wu-Tang Clan. Now, I'm always promoting something, but this is a good deal right here. Wu-Tang Clan in Las Vegas. Tickets go on sale. Pre-sale tickets available today. Officially on sale on Friday of this week. Wu-Tang Clan in Las Vegas. Say it again. Super Bowl in February for number 1. And March Madness number 2. Two high attendance events at the very least. And it's a good opportunity for Wu-Tang Clan, because I don't think I could have picked a better time and a better venue for them to come to Vegas. So there we have it. Wednesday, December 13th, 2023. This is The Sideshow. I'm Theodore Parker. That's it. Hashtag